Hello guys, this is a very weird video. I'm Kate, I do some songs every now and again, maybe a cover, maybe a podcast, but nothing like this. I put a tweet out yesterday just being like, hey, would anyone give even the smallest of shits about my mushroom experience? And to my delight and my surprise, quite a few of you wanted to hear the story. So here we are, a very odd video. But you know what? I am not the 18-year-old singing Adele and Mumford & Sons anymore, god damn it. I'm a 30-year-old who's doing drugs, okay? And I'm here to talk about them. So when it comes to psychedelics in particular, I have tried them before, but when I say tried, I mean tried and failed miserably. I went to Amsterdam with some family last year, and because truffles and stuff are legal over there, we were like, why not? Let's do shrooms. And for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to wrap the shrooms in thinly sliced chorizo, which was a terrible idea. They didn't stay down. 20 minutes later, I puked them up. I didn't keep any of them down. And I had to watch as my family had glorious trips for 4 or 5 hours. And I was like, damn, I want to fucking know what that's like. So yeah, I guess since then, I have really wanted to know what it's like to have that kind of experience. That, but also seen lots of documentaries, heard loads and loads and loads of stories about it, podcasts, my friends have done it recently, some other family have done it recently, so it just feels like it's been building and building and building, and I just thought, fuck it, it's my time, bitch. I want to try it. So with that in mind, my original plan was to start with microdosing. So I got some micro doses, and that I think you get like 12 in total. So you do like 1 gram every 3 days or something. So I took 1 gram, and it was a Saturday afternoon. So I thought, this is fine. Like, if I feel anything, feel too much, whatever it is, I'm fine. I'm on my own. It's a sunny day. I've got family at the other end of the phone. I'm going to be fine. And then about 40 minutes pass, and I'm like, it is a Saturday and it is sunny and I am on my own with nothing to do. How about I take 2 grams? And then I was asking some friends and family, because I don't want to take the piss, I've never done this before. I am definitely an impulsive, whimsical, erratic person at times, but I wanted an experience. So I thought, why not try 2? So then I did 2. And then I was hearing from other people that to have like an actual trip, you'd need to do like 5 or 6. So at that point, it was balls to the wall. I'd come that far. It had been about an hour and a quarter. And I just thought, Kate, it's now or never. It's you and these mushrooms. Just fucking do 6. So over the course of a 2-hour period, I believe, I just did the whole 6 grams, and they are fucking hideous. The taste is disgusting, and I wouldn't wish that taste on my worst enemy. However, by the time I'd taken the last one and washed it down with water, it's the only way it was going to stay down, I was in a park by myself, and it was sunny, and it was a really windy day, so I was quite cold, but then the sun would come out, and it'd be, I don't know, how the weather works, I'm sure. But like, things started to get more colourful, all the classic things that you hear about shrooms. So basically, my trip was kind of split into 2 halves. The first half was kind of the human sensory overload bit, and the second half was like the wonderfully profound spiritual bit. So the first bit, I was sat in the park, and yeah, I was just kind of noticing things that I hadn't really noticed before. So like the wind going through the grass, and like the patterns everywhere, and like nature just felt so alive, which sounds so hippie and ridiculous, but it did. Like, because of the wind, the trees looked like they were almost laughing and like having loads of fun. Just watching birds fly was like fascinating. I was like, damn, I've never watched a bird fly before. This is amazing. There was beauty in everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just know I sound like one of those people, but it's true. You feel so at one with everything and so alive, just sat around it. And so that was just awesome. And it was so gradual because I'd taken the shroom so gradually. The trip started happening really gradually, which I'm very grateful for, because it didn't freak me out. And by that point, so I was just like, whatever happens, happens. If it goes a good way and I have a great day, then fine. But if it goes bad, I know that it's only 4 or 5 hours. I know that it's temporary. I can self-soothe in my own brain. Like, I've faced a lot of demons. I don't have anything that I'm particularly running from. I know my kind of shadow parts, as it were. So I was kind of ready for whatever the shrooms were going to give me. I wasn't scared, and I think that probably helped in the grand scheme of things. So after about, I'd say, an hour, sat there in the park listening to music, just soaking up the nature and the sun and everything, I just thought, okay, it's getting fucking freezing. I'm going to walk home. And then I started walking, and I was like, damn, walking feels amazing. Walking feels so good. So then I was like walking up and down the street, and I was thinking, Kate, you look like a fucking, well, you look like you're on drugs and you look insane. What I did kind of figure out is, seeing humans walk past you, you expect them to be going somewhere, to be on their way somewhere. And actually, if they're just having a leisurely stroll and going at their own pace, you can't help but think they're a bit weird. I wanted to just take my time and like look at the buildings and the sky and stuff, but I was so aware of the people around me being like, that woman is insane. But that didn't really stop me because I was on drugs. So I was like walking up and down the streets, and then because I was so aware of what other people were thinking of me, I was stifling my laughter because it was just so funny to me. And the other beautiful thing was that obviously I know these streets. I've lived here for a while now, so I knew where I was and everything was familiar, obviously, but it also simultaneously felt like I had just been plonked down on earth, and everything felt brand new, even though I knew it. I'd look down one street and kind of see it in a way that I'd not seen it before. It kind of looked like it could have been LA, and then I looked down that street and I was like, that could be Portugal. Everything just felt new, and I felt, like I was seeing everything for the first time. So that was so cool. Then it just hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, and it happened perfect timing because I got into my place and I went to the bathroom, and I was like, it just hit me then. I think that was the peak. I was like, fuck me, I am so high, this is insane. But like not high that I've ever experienced before with any other drug. It was so overwhelming, and I've said this to a few friends, and it's the only way I can describe it. You know when like you have needed the toilet for so long, you've held it in and your bladder's really full, and then maybe this is just me actually, now I'm thinking about it, when I've told my friends about this they just kind of laugh along, but maybe this is just me. So you've held it in for so long, and then you go to the toilet, and it's like that first kind of 2 seconds of weeing is almost like a, and then it like releases, like you need to get over the peak of it. Does that make any sense to anyone? Anyway, that kind of like, oh my God, was basically how it felt. So I didn't really know where the next bit was going to go because I was just sat in my room. But at the same time, I was like, I cannot be outside wandering the streets right now. I'm already so aware of what people are thinking of me. I'm just way too high to be out in public. So I took off my shoes and basically just laid on that bed for the last like 2 or 3 hours. And it was like, how to describe it? From that point onwards, it was kind of all in my head. Everything was so overwhelming by this point. The main takeaway that I had from this experience was, whatever this is, this universe, where we come from, the source, God, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever this is, I am experiencing it right now. But it cannot, under any circumstance, be put into words. I kept writing it in my phone, and I kept writing, this cannot be shared with words, this can only be felt. Whatever this fucking thing is, this higher thing is that we're a part of, cannot be put into words. It's actually impossible. It can only be felt. I remember kind of looking at the sun, and I was crying because everything was so overwhelming. The feeling was so overwhelming. And I kept like trying to figure out, like, I don't know how to marry this human experience that I'm having today, but also in life, with this like otherworldly spiritual thing. I don't know how to marry the two. And it was getting me really frustrated and down. And then I just shut my eyes and I started like bawling my eyes out because it all just kind of came together in that exact moment. You don't need to marry the two. They're one and the same. You are a human having a very spiritual experience, if you know what I mean. You can't separate this huge crazy thing we're a part of and the human. Like, it's one of the same. And that was such an overwhelming thing because it was such confusion and sadness before that. And then I shut my eyes and just felt it, and like everything became clear. We're all part of the same thing. And so that was that was incredible. And I hadn't eaten all day because they say that if you eat anything, it kind of fucks with the trip and you might come down sooner or whatever. So I hadn't eaten, but I was so hungry. And at this point I was like, damn, I don't mind if like this kind of tails off now. Like I just need to eat something. So I started eating some dark chocolate biscuits. Oh God, I've never tasted anything so good. It was so good. I sat up and I was eating this chocolate biscuit. There are no words, guys. There are no words for this feeling, this experiencing the universe and being a part of it. There are no words. So I was eating and I was like crying my eyes out, couldn't breathe, but it wasn't sadness. It was just total overwhelming. Oh my God, this is incredible. And I feel like I just got a tiny glimpse into what this all is. It can't be put into words, and me trying to put it into words is doing it a disservice, but the dimensions and the depth and the color and the complexities and the levels, and there's just so much. It is so fucking much bigger than we can even try and comprehend. I was just a human having a human experience of this fucking massive thing. And even that was so overwhelming that I couldn't even breathe. And I was crying, and then I was laughing my head off the next second because I was thinking of how crazy this was, that I was bawling my eyes out. And then it was hilarious. Like, it is a journey. It was a journey, but full of magic. Even now, it's sad because I know that I'm back very much in my human brain now, and I'm trying to relay a memory, but I can't even remember exactly how that feels because I'm back in my human body, you know? The other thing I just kept taking away from it was, I guess, yeah, when you go back into life, you're just having a human experience, and these are just your stories and people you're coming across, other humans having their experience. And there is something so much bigger than all of this, so much bigger than we can even comprehend. With everything that I've been learning the last few years and the books I've been reading and just doing a lot of inner work, I've known this, and it's something that I know to be true. Like, I can read all the Eckhart Tolle and all the books that I love. I love how I can only mention him, but I do read other books. All the other books, like, I can know that, but to feel it and to experience it is a fucking whole different ballgame. To now go back into my normal life, but know with my heart now that that place exists, this like crazy, loving, overwhelming, colorful, massive thing. This is me trying to put it into words and I can't. Exists. So it kind of makes everything feel okay. Like, things cannot not be okay when you know that you come from that and you're a part of that. And I remember like walking around and I try and think of things that were, you know, I knew that in my human life would be stuff that I'd have to deal with, like past relationships or friendships or my mum. And I had nothing but love for these people. There was no pain when I was thinking about them. And I very much got the kind of, I guess, the idea that all of the stuff that you think around these people, they are just stories and they're just thoughts in your head, when actually I thought about them in those moments and it was just, I was like, oh, my mum, yeah, I love her. And it just kind of ended. And then I'd think about friends or my dad and I'd be like, yeah, that's another human that I've come into contact with that I love. And the stories stopped there. So that was another kind of enlightening thing, and something now that coming, back into my human brain, I'm like, these are just stories. And man, I feel like I've done an absolutely terrible job of explaining this trip. And there are probably things I've forgotten. Oh, okay. So another thing that was very, very kind of clear to me at the time was that everything is connected. Like, absolutely everything is connected. And we have no idea why. Like, we can't grasp that with our brains. Like, we cannot grasp it. But in that experience, I knew it to be true. There was just this unshakable feeling of knowing that to be true, that everything is connected, everyone is connected, and we are just, I guess, consciousness experiencing itself, which sounds so fucking out there, doesn't it? But damn, I know that to be true. And there was beauty in every single moment. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'd be looking up at the sun and that would be so incredibly beautiful that I'd be crying. And then I'd shut my eyes and there'd be so much space in there. And then that would be amazing. And then from crying, I'd be rubbing my eyes and then I could see like intense colors behind my eyelids. And that was so fucking beautiful that I'd cry from that. No matter what I did, there was such beauty in everything, and everything was making me cry because everything was so overwhelming. It was like I was a baby experiencing everything for the first time, and I got to see how colorful things were and how the shapes in everything and just the shadows and the light and the textures. You just notice things so much more that you wouldn't normally notice. And I definitely think now, back in normal life afterwards, I'm making sure that I notice those things a bit more. When I'm going out for a walk, I'm like, Kate, fucking look up at the sky, stop and look at a leaf, because all of these things are so incredibly beautiful and I never stop to notice them. So that's definitely something that I'll take away from this experience. Another thing that was clear to me at the time was I kept trying to take lessons from everything. I so wanted it to be a trip where I could learn a lot, that in every single thing I was like, what's the lesson here? What can I learn from that? And there was just this deep kind of feeling of just enjoy it. Stop trying to make something out of everything and stop trying to control it, basically. Just let things be and just go for the ride. And it definitely ties into just normal life. Stop thinking that you know where it should go, or how it should be, or that it could be better if this happened or whatever. Just sit back and enjoy the ride, because it is a ride. We're here for the tiniest amount of time and then we're going to go again. And I kept trying to think the unthinkable through with my brain. I kept trying to understand the universe and love and people. I kept trying to understand it with my brain and getting so sad and frustrated and feeling so disconnected when I couldn't understand it. And then I would shut my eyes and stop trying to think about it and just focus on my breath. And then that crazy, crazy magical feeling would wash over me again. And I'd start crying because I'd be like, oh damn, like I can't think this through with my brain. The brain is there for logic and thinking the stuff through that we need, not this. We can't ever understand this. It wasn't something that could be thought through. And I knew that as soon as I shut my eyes and kind of just quietened down, basically, and felt the feeling, everything was fine in that present moment. It was when I was trying to digest it with my human brain, it was just like, no, that cannot be done. Just rest and just be silent and just be. God, I fucking sound like my mum right now. Anyway, at this point, I feel like I fucked this. I don't think this can be explained, but I do think that everyone should have a psychedelic experience in their life. And like I said, I don't think it should be taken lightly. It's not something to just don't do what I did and just do it by yourself randomly one day, because it could have not gone well. But damn, there's so much magic to be found in these experiences. And to have felt that and to have felt, I don't know, the universe, whatever the fuck this is that we're a part of, to have felt it, my life will never be the same. I will never be the same. And I just feel so grateful that I got to experience it. And I'm dumbfounded. There are no words. And as you can see, my explaining of this experience is useless. Because unless you, I don't know, have been there and felt it, there are no words. There are fucking no words. Will I do it again? Without a doubt. I'd like to try ayahuasca at some point. I'd like to try it all, to be honest. Like, I'm willing to dive in and face all of the shit. I'm on a mega journey right now with my head and my heart. God, that sounds so lame, doesn't it? Like, I'm so aware of how I'm sounding, but there are no other words for it. Just a very kind of profound spiritual journey. that I'm on. It just feels magical. Every day feels kind of magical. The excitement around living and just figuring stuff out, even the hard bits, there's magic in all of it, because I'm like, how can I use everything I've learned and everything that I now know? How can I use this to make my life better and other people's lives better? That's kind of how it feels. There's like magic in everything now. And there was a time where there really wasn't. There was no magic, and I was so depressed, and I was like fueled by fear. God, I was just a fearful, sad person. The bloody motorbikes around here, they best fear for their lives, because I will kill them. I'm obviously joking. But yeah, basically, I don't know what the fuck this video is about. I don't know what I've said. I feel like it's awful. But here we are. I hope you enjoyed it, if it can be enjoyed. And I will probably never do anything like this again. Normal schedule will resume. At some point, I'll do an Adele cover for you all, seeing as that's what I'm known for. Okay, bye.